Шановні колеги, ми продовжуємо робочий день. До слова запрошується речник адміністрації президента України з питань АТО, полковник.
We are going to continue our working day, and the floor is given to Oleksandr Motuzyanyk, the Speaker of the ATO issues of the presidential administration of Ukraine. Good afternoon to everybody. I would like to offer to your attention the review of the events of yesterday. So the Day of Independence of Ukraine was characterized by the further aggravation of the situation along the whole line of contact. It's safe to say that yesterday's shelling using the tanks, mortars, and artillery were the most powerful since the Battle of Debaltseve. Now more details. Lugansk section in Stanice Lugansk, closer to the night, we observed two enemies shootings using mortars. Ukrainian troops returned the fire. Near Shastia, there was quiet. Near the Bakhmut highway along the whole front line, between the Rimsk and Watashkivka, the occupationists shot from the mortars using 152mm guns and one tank. The number of the shells fired amounts to dozens. And all those shootings took place in the dark hours of the day. The same situation near Popasna, where occupations also fired from 155mm howitzer, and also the civil facilities. They damaged the one building, and we should know that very powerful artillery shootings took place in the Lugansk section. They were coordinated by the artillery batteries of so-called 6th Regiment and 7th Brigade of the Russian occupationist troops. All in all, there were 25 shootings, including 11 using the heavy weaponry. More complicated situation is in the next section. The occupationists used heavy weaponry, tanks, mortars, and guns along the whole line of contacts between Troitsk and Krasnogorivsk, both during the day and at night. There was no quiet there. There was the continuous shooting between midnight and 4 in the morning and 5 p.m. till midnight. You should know that a traditional day shoot not only at the front line but the nearest rearward area of the Ukrainian troops, and use the enemy uses long-range, large-caliber artillery, and in all the critical points of our defense, the ATO forces fired back. All in all, there were 38 enemy shootings, including 29 using heavy weaponry in Mariupol section. At the dawn, the enemy actually provided the unprecedented shooting the Ukrainian positions using the self-propelled howitzer Gvozdika. During 1 hour, they shot more than 120 shells. According to information of the Chief Intelligence Department of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, the so-called 9th Regiment of the enemy, stationed near Shirokina, they received and they used the mobile reconnaissance vehicle Argus. This is a modern Russian complex which is designed for artillery reconnaissance and the correction of the fire. Also, there were mortar shellings near Krasnogorivka, Novogrigorivka, Starognativka, and Shirokina, closer to the night. Also, the occupationists actively violate the regime, the ceasefire regime, at other sections of the front line. So, all in all, in this section near Mariupol, they observed 24 shootings of the enemy, including 5 cases using the heavy weaponry. Also, yesterday there were the 3 flights of the enemy's drones, which were observed in Lugansk and Donetsk sections. Over the line, over the last 24 hours, there were no Ukrainian soldiers were killed, but 3 of them were wounded. The losses of the enemies, which have been confirmed, amount to 7 wounded soldiers of the 3 units of Russian occupationist troops. According to the information we received, 150 soldiers of the 604th Center of the Special Spetsnaz Vites arrived in Makivka. They're going to be responsible to increase the combat spirit and training of the so-called 11th Regiment of the enemy, which suffered big losses of late. But in fact, those 150 soldiers are going to be kind of the buffer squad. On the eve of the Day of Independence, the SBU Ukraine prevented the terroristic action in Mariupol. They actually revealed the hidden workshop where they manufactured the explosives for the subversive groups, and they tried to they actually manufactured the explosive from and they reprocessed traumatic weapons to the combat ones, and they seized a lot of the explosives from that place. Another former militant decided to use the SBU programs. You're awaited home. 22-year-old citizen of Limansk district in the spring of 2014 joined the ranks of the illegal armed formations. And then he realized it was erroneous action on his part and returned to Donetsk. The day he went to Donetsk, then to the territory of the Russian Federation. And when he came to know about the special SBU program, he decided to surrender. This exhausts my information. If there are no more questions, thank you for your information and see you again. This brings us to the end of this press conference. The last briefing